Kenneth Wagner. My question is about soldiers coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever.
Before you, I got to know, did you make it to UNLV the other night?
No.
You didn't make it?
I did not make it.
The man with 10 different bookings in one day.
My question.
Sorry.
That's all right. I didn't lose track. My question is, this is happening to a lot of our soldiers. I don't know what the law is, but they just passed a law, and I believe it was because of the Virginia shooting, that anybody who got put into a mental hospital or was under psychiatric care loses their right to own a firearm. What is happening to our soldiers coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, they get, they call it post-traumatic stress syndrome. They go and talk to the people in control and in command, they are now required to turn over their medical records to the law, and it goes on the NCIC, which then causes, once they're better, causes them to lose their security clearance, their right to own a gun and keep a gun in their home. Would you, as a judge, if it was in your power, I don't think you're, but the reason I'm asking this question is because I just want to know your feelings on this. If it was in your power as a judge, would you seal the records, because judges do have the power to seal medical records once they're determined that they're no longer having mental problems from coming back from the war?
Bernie Zadrowski, if the question is, and I think I got this right, Kenneth, is it appropriate for a judge to be looking at these medical records that have an impact on whatever is contained within NCIC? Of course it is. And in fact, judges do this all day long. They will look at cases, what they call in-camera inspection. Now, they'll look at records that are inappropriate for public record. They look at records that are inappropriate for the prosecution to look at and inappropriate for the defense to look at. This happens all the time, which, by the way, goes back to the original premise probably that underlies every single question that has been answered so far, and I imagine will for every question today. It's a question of experience and fairness. The person that you have on the bench, what kind of person do you want looking at those records? What kind of person do you want making those calls, ultimately, in determining what happens with that person, what's fair? You want somebody with experience, somebody that's been there and done that, those kind of things before, that knows the law, that has experience with working with people. And those are the kind of issues, the close calls, the balances, and how you determine where the balance ultimately ends. That's where you want the people who have experience that have good judgment. And I think that ultimately, if that is the state of the law, and I'm going to take your word for it that it is, I have no reason to doubt you, that ultimately I think it is appropriate for judges to look at that and make the determination. I would want a judge making that determination, a fair judge making that determination, rather than some politician making that decision, if that's what it is. Now, again, and you're going to probably get tired of hearing this, but again, because I'm bound by the judicial code of ethics, the canons, anything I do as a judge would require that I follow the law, both statutory and any case precedent.
Okay, but if it's in your power, would you seal the records of that soldier so it couldn't be used against him once he's been determined? Even if it was in your case, you could appoint someone, once he gets out of the military and then he wants to go be whatever, but of course this is going to be on his record forever, that he was in a mental hospital or getting treatment, yeah, psychiatric treatment after a war.
Yes, assuming the law permits it. We allow people to seal the record for writing bad checks. We allow people to seal the record for all kinds of crimes that they commit. I certainly don't see anything wrong with allowing the record to be sealed in cases like that, especially where a person is then considered healthy again.
Thank you.
But again, the caveat to everything I say is assuming it's legal, because I'm bound to follow the law.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, panel members, do we have any more questions? Alrighty, so we have a thumbs up for rounds complete for the 2010 judicial endorsements from Veterans in Politics. Thank you for coming out, Bernie, for Department 14. Let's go ahead and give Bernie a round of applause.
Thank you for having me.
And I just want to let all